Phoenix Suns fans, I love this. As Coach Budenholzer made a big move, shaking up this roster, moving Bradley Beal to the bench, inserting Ryan Dunn, and moving Yusuf Nurkic out of the lineup entirely by giving Oso Iguodaro more minutes. And this has truly brought out the Phoenix Suns in a bright light as they just won their first back-to-back games in almost a month. And this is absolutely fantastic for all the fans as they were commonly gloomy going into these last couple of games. But after this little nice win streak getting going up and the easy record in front of the Suns, this is making it even nicer for fans to see a brighter light to the playoffs. Welcome back, guys. I am Bruce Velez, and you guys are here on Suns Digest, where we bring you everything daily about the Phoenix Suns. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this team, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as 82% of you guys who watch these videos currently are not subscribed. And we have everything revolving around this team, from news, trades, post-game breakdowns, and weekly live streams. So if you want to find a place to get all your Suns info, this is the place for you. But without further ado, let's dive in and let's get into all this jazz. Because like I said, this is amazing to see as Suns fans, as we see them, like I mentioned, win back-to-back games for the first time since December 15th. And with the Suns having a little bit of an easier schedule kind of going into things, this could be key for a nice playoff push. And even though the Suns in this game played against the Utah Jazz, had some struggles late in the second half, there were a lot of bright things to look at tonight. If we want to dive in and look at this game, like I mentioned, Suns beat the Utah Jazz 114 to 116. They did have an 11-point halftime lead, and then unfortunately, the Utah Jazz came out on fire in the third quarter, and the Suns kind of fell back into that kryptonite. A little bit of a colder quarter there, but the Suns were able to pull back late in the fourth and able to rally to beat this Jazz squad in pretty solid fashion. Now, like I said, they were able to outshoot this Utah Jazz team from three-point range and from the mid-range in field goal percentage. Unfortunately, they were out-rebounded and were outscored in the paint, but that is because the Suns didn't play Yusuf Nurkic. But even without needing to play Yusuf Nurkic, a guy who could help out in that category, the Suns still found a way to pull out a W due to the fact that they had a lot of players step up tonight. Devin Booker meeting one of them. Probably the biggest MVP for the Suns tonight, was absolutely electric, making baskets from three-point range, mid-range, and had 21 points in the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. He was absolutely on fire. And Devin Booker, just like in a recent performance where he was going off, killing it for the Phoenix Suns. He has versus the Hornets. He has recently been in this stride, and he's seen some shooting struggles from three-point range, seemingly last game where he made 0 3-pointers, but he was able to bounce back. And I don't want to hear any talk about Devin Booker not being a prepared enough superstar, not being that it guy for the Suns, because even though he does go in these shooting slumps, he steps up and performs just like this when the Suns need him most. Durant also had an impactful game offensively for this team as well. Really early on, had a really nice move going baseline with a nice little crossover, and it was a fantastic play that turned into a nice dunk off a nice assist. And Durant was really getting involved with those assists today, where he had a total of 7 of them. But like that, like Kevin Durant and like Devin Booker, we saw some big games today from the rookies. And this is where Suns fans are really gleaming with light. When you look at Ryan Dunn and when you look at Oso Iguodaro, once again, they both had impactful plays for the Suns, even not even showed up on the stat sheet, but on the court if you were watching the game. And Ryan Dunn has been a fantastic addition into this lineup. He was exactly what the Suns needed. We're talking in some spaces, figuring this out. And right, we've seen the Suns running with these 3 and 4 guard lineups. We saw it in this game as well with Coach Bud running 4 guard lineups even late in the game. Has just not really worked with this team. And they need to have that extra size and that length. And with Royce O'Neal being out, it's kind of limited them over these last couple of games. But when Royce does come back, I think it will be a little bit easier for this team to kind of gel and get into that rhythm. But a guy like Ryan Dunn has been really impactful on that defensive side. And he made some really big plays alongside Oso Iguodaro and Josh Okogie to close out that first half to really get that momentum going for the Suns and to string on that lead. Ryan Dunn got a really nice steal Alvin Man's play, gave it to Osogudaro, and it was just a nice layup. Like things like that are key for the Suns in dominating these games and really coming through together as a whole. And having these young rookies, players that Suns fans wanted them to keep, like as the Suns had continue to trade their draft picks and continue to trade their draft picks. CJ and I were on this channel preaching, keep those draft picks, go get a point guard specifically, but keep those draft picks and make sure that those draft picks turn out to be great players. And not only has Ryan Dunn been one of those fantastic diamonds in the roughs in the first round for the Phoenix Suns, where he's completely showcased his offensive ability with this team, but also Iguodala has been that perfect diamond in the rough in that second round there for the Suns, being that fantastic backup big. And he's really grown with these 2 games without Yusuf Nurkic, really showcasing what he can bring for this team offensively and defensively, which I really, really like to see. And that's why I think the Suns are getting into a little bit of a good streak right now. Obviously, we see these little changes from Coach Bud working with these bench unit. Bradley Beal tonight, unfortunately, wasn't the most effective offensively coming off the bench, but was still very, very vital in setting up that second unit and was very, very key and making sure he was making some key defensive plays, getting some assists and getting some steals as well, which I really like to see come out of Beal here tonight. Like I said, Bradley Beal has really adjusted to that second unit and can really kind of figured it himself out playing alongside guards Monte Morris and wings Grayson Allen and Josh Okogie, which has really, really complemented that bench unit, making it a little bit more even scoring for both sides here, which has really helped out the Suns. And once again, like I mentioned, Yusuf Nurkic was not in the lineup again tonight. He received his second straight DNP, and I expect these DNPs to remain the course. Obviously, we are seeing the Suns go on a little bit of a win streak, and tomorrow they do take on the Charlotte Hornets, who just embarrassed us earlier this week on Tuesday. So hopefully the Suns can bounce back now back in Phoenix at the Footprint Center, be able to get a big time victory versus a team in the Charlotte Hornets. And if they are able to do something like that, then I can see this team really going on a nice string of wins here versus some weaker Eastern Conference opponents and slowly closing the gap, moving up this ladder in the Western Conference to get even a more insured guarantee of making the play in. And then they can decide to what moves they ultimately need to make. As we're seeing with this lineup right now, yeah, they are going up against some weaker teams, but it has been clicking, it has been working, and that's all you want to be asking for as a Phoenix Suns fan. I tweeted out this during the game, but shout out to Coach Mike Budenholzer for doing the thing that no one thought of and no one wanted to do, which was moving Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic to the bench, because that was the key that changed this team. And this team looks completely different from what they looked like just a week ago, not even a couple weeks ago, a month ago. They are a completely changed team with this new revamped roster with no Yusuf Nurkic, and I see the signs coming through. The Suns still need to address that center rotation, still need to add someone nice as well. I do want to give a shout out, speaking of centers, I completely forgot, to Mason Plumlee, who was really dominant to start off this game for the Suns. Had the Suns' first 5 points, first 5 rebounds, was very, very effective on the glass for this team early on. But like I said, Suns still need an effective other center, probably someone that's a little bit better than those guys to fill in for that Nurkic void. But ultimately, after that, you could arguably still go for Butler. If you can't get Butler, keep Beal, work with this team, still make some moves around the edges, and still be a playoff competent team. Maybe not a championship caliber team, but a playoff competent team that could win a series and bring some life back to Phoenix. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, what you guys ultimately feel about this team and how this game really responded to you. It was a nice afternoon game for everybody in Phoenix, so it was a nice way to relax. You get to enjoy the rest of your night with a big Phoenix dub, and that is the best thing to have on a Saturday. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.